Hello, this is 100 Films and Other Stuff, a countdown of my favourite 100 films and occasionally other stuff. At 97 is Jonathan Mostow's Breakdown. Be warned, there are spoilers. Rural America, with its vast plains, small towns and seemingly endless trails and highways, has long been a setting for chaos and danger. It has been a setting for lots of other things as well, with its small towns made up of folk with good character and wholesome values.
Yay! Hello, Bedford Falls! Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas!
But for this review, it is a setting of chaos and danger. The point is that in many films all sorts of dangerous and crazy people from all walks of life can be found out on the highway in the middle of nowhere. We do not need to ponder for too long before coming up with some examples. Think no further than this guy. Or this guy. But let's not just restrict it to horror movies. The Western genre, after all, helped mythologize the Wild West with its Native Americans quite reasonably getting angry at their colonial invaders, or cowboys, ranchers, outlaws and myriad other bad guys coming into town, shooting, boozing and fighting. Usually the bad guys are only stopped by honourable and good men. Move closer to the present day and the chaos and danger is still there, with rampaging birds trying to kill Tippi Hedren, aliens, the Wraith, naked chicks riding motorbikes, and Arnie just trying to save his town from the bad guys. Of course, in rural America, danger is not just confined to Native Americans, outlaws, criminals on the run, or Natalie Portman, but quite often the local law enforcement officers are far worse than the people they are putting away. Nothing typifies chaos better than a place where the law can't be trusted. Also, the roadside mechanic is often a person of dubious character and will usually charge an arm and a leg for the most elementary of repairs while diligently taking his time about it. Finally, there are those roadside diners that seem to be frequented only by locals who are usually unhelpful or suspicious of any strangers stopping for a rest or a bite to eat. Of course, I should point out that often the strangers, usually from the city, are arrogant, condescending, and will invariably order something not on the menu, which generally leads to all kinds of problems.
I have made up my mind. I'd like a plain omelet, no potatoes on the plate, a cup of coffee, and a side order of wheat toast.
I'm sorry, we don't have any side orders of toast. I'll give you an English muffin or a coffee roll.
What do you mean you don't make side orders of toast? You make sandwiches, don't you?
Would you like to talk to the manager? Hey, Mac.
Shut up. You've got bread and a toaster of some kind?
I don't make the rules.
Okay, I'll make it as easy for you as I can. I'd like an omelet, plain, and a chicken salad sandwich on wheat toast. No mayonnaise, no butter, no lettuce, and a cup of coffee.
Number 2, chicken salad sand. Hold the butter, the lettuce, the mayonnaise, and a cup of coffee. Anything else?
Yeah, now all you have to do is hold the chicken, bring me the toast, give me a check for the chicken salad sandwich, and you haven't broken any rules.
You want me to hold the chicken, huh?
I want you to hold it between your knees.
You see that sign, sir? Yes, you all have to leave. I'm not taking any more of your smartness and sarcasm.
You see this sign?
Obviously, I don't think that rural America was or is actually like this, but merely a reflection of it. However, often when watching a movie set in America, it is difficult not to be influenced by all the myths that the cinemas help to perpetuate. Breakdown, simply put, is about a man who has his wife taken from him and, like Liam Neeson, must get her back. The film is billed as an adventure mystery thriller, which it is, but the mythology of the Wild West casts a long shadow in Breakdown. Maybe not long enough for it to be a western, but it is still there. It starts from the opening credits, which are intercut with high soaring shots resembling that of an eagle locking in on its prey. The protagonist's car is like a dot in the vast landscape. This is the frontier, and there is danger even if they are in a modern car driving on modern roads. To be honest, the opening title sequence seems to be a homage to Kubrick's Shining, which only adds to the foreboding. Once Breakdown starts in earnest, we meet our protagonists, who are Jeff and Amy Taylor, a white couple travelling across America from Boston to their new life on the West Coast. The opening scenery seems familiar, because it is. The film locations, ostensibly shot in Utah, have been used countless times before in movies, and more specifically, westerns. It is nice to see such imagery in a movie that is not a western, yet paradoxically, it is hard to look at it and not think Wild West. After briefly meeting the couple, they nearly have a car accident, and shortly thereafter a confrontation with the driver at a petrol station, who coincidentally is wearing cowboy hat and boots. This all happens in the first 6 minutes of the movie, and although nothing comes of either altercation, it sets up an uneasy ambience similar to so many westerns that have been filmed before. They continue their journey until they break down on an isolated stretch of highway. The couple are stranded, yet are soon helped by a nice trucker, Red, who offers to take Amy to the nearest telephone so she can call for help. Jeff stays behind, yet after some time fixes the car and sets out to find his wife. At the next roadhouse, he meets some diffident locals who say they have never seen his wife. It takes time, but Jeff finally tracks down Red and confronts him with, at this point, a slightly suspicious sheriff. Red claims he has never seen Jeff or his wife before, and the sheriff lets Red go, suspecting that maybe Jeff's wife has just upped and left him. In an exquisite scene highlighting how hard it is going to be to get his wife back, Jeff files a missing persons report.
You know, there's over 100,000 people go missing in this country every year. Runaways, deadbeat dads, dropouts, folks hiding from the IRS, all vanishing without a trace. We get these kind of pictures all the time from all over the place. I'm not saying that your wife is one of them. I sure hope not. But unless there's been a ransom demand or evidence of forced abduction, believe me, the FBI won't even look at your case until it's been 24 hours. Nevertheless, we will certainly keep our eyes peeled.
At the behest of the deputy, he returns to the roadhouse and is first mocked by the locals and then threatened at gunpoint by the owner. Like I say, people aren't very helpful in the West. The film has only been running for 30 minutes at this point, but it has used a variety of tropes and imagery from westerns to help set up its tone and narrative. Jeff is up against it, and with no help from the law, he is going to have to do an awful lot to get his wife back. From this point in the movie, it becomes the thriller it was billed as. The narrative barely draws breath as Jeff goes in search of his wife. It is a hell of a ride, and it has one humdinger of an ending. The car chase scenes are tense, well executed, and noticeably devoid of CGI, which helps to keep the film's gritty edge. Yet arguably the most tense scenes do not take place on the highway, outside in the landscape, but inside in confined spaces. Notably, the confrontation at Red's house in the kitchen. The film is superbly acted by the entire cast, with J.T. Walsh menacing as Red and Kurt Russell wonderfully desperate as Jeff. The film ebbs and flows on Jeff's emotions as he goes from relaxed to despair to elation and relief in his desperate search for his wife.
You don't want to do that, kid. Put the gun down.
Don't listen to him, Deke. You just keep that gun right on him.
My daddy keeps his rifle loaded all the time. He showed me in case I need to protect Mommy when he's away.
I understand that, and I'm not going to hurt your mom.
He's lying, Deke. Now go on, son. Squeeze that trigger, go on.
Don't listen to him, kid.
Go on, Deke.
Don't listen to him. He's wrong.
Do what I tell you to do. Squeeze that trigger now. Come on.
Put it down, Deke. Nothing's going to happen.
Breakdown is a fantastic thriller. Watch it, and remember to take care in rural America.